Well, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you as we mix business and pleasure for an hour at least, a day full of business, and now we have the pleasure of recognizing excellence in your field, effectively. The Sasakawa Award, long-standing, very prestigious, and as it says up on the board, recognizing excellence in reducing disaster risk for a more inclusive and sustainable world, leaving no one behind. And this year in particular, the award is for building inclusive and resilient societies. My name's David Eads. I'll be with you for the course of the next hour or so as we build up to the awards themselves. But I say build up because, as you can see, no expense spared here as we've turned a business hall into a glamorous theatre for the awards night. 2 stages, in fact, one over here. And as you can see, we have another over there. And that build-up starts with a very special performance. We have theatre breaking through barriers with us, who have put something together specifically for this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Theatre Breaking Through Barriers with an introduction from Nick. Over to you, Nick.
Oh, thank you so much, David. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nicholas Vaselli, and we are with Theatre Breaking Through Barriers from New York City. And I have to say, we are so incredibly excited to be here this evening on behalf of all of our group. We're really excited to be here to honor the recipients of the 2019 Sasakawa Awards, right, crew?
Right.
And we are particularly excited by the theme of this year's Sasakawa Award, which is promoting inclusive societies. This theme fits in perfectly with the global platform's focus on gender parity and recognizing the voices of women. Now, we know that women and girls are disproportionately affected by disasters in our society, and they should have a voice at every level of planning. I mean, their perspectives are unique, and their stories should be told.
Oh, thanks.
And speaking of storytellers, I would like to introduce you to our playwright, Jared Denmark.
Thank you so much, Nicholas. You are absolutely right about gender parity, and thank you for providing voices for women.
Oh, no. Thank you, Jared, for all of Jared, for all of the gender-inclusive scripts you write.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Hold it. Jared, Nick, are you two really committed to listening to women tell their own stories?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Then shut up and listen.
Hello, everyone.
We are Theatre Breaking Through Barriers.
We are a professional theater troupe from New York City, dedicated to producing groundbreaking theater and providing opportunities for artists with disabilities.
As you can tell, we don't need you to give women a voice because women already have voices.
We just need some people to stop talking long enough in order to hear them.
Well said.
Well thanked.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
I'm Anne-Marie.
I'm Anita.
I'm Pamela. You met Jared and Nick, and this is Zen.
Hello.
Get over here, guys.
Like Nick said, we are honored to be here with all of you.
Yes, and everybody looks so nice and a little bit serious, but fun-loving people, I can tell.
You know what? They look excited, too.
I think they're anxious to hear about the recipients of the Sasakawa Award.
Oh, right, the awards. Hey, let me ask you, Nick, this award, is it very prestigious?
Oh, very, very prestigious.
The recipients recipients will be given a beautiful trophy, and I believe there's also a cash award.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes, there is a monetary award, but it's really the honor of being nominated. That's what. Why are you all looking at me like that? Oh, you don't think that we... Oh, come on, guys. You think that we should get this award? No. We're not the focus here. This is for people who do real disaster risk reduction, and we're just a theater company.
No, Nick. Haven't you read the Sendai Framework?
Of course I read the Sendai Framework.
Then you know what it says in Section 3 on page 13.
Yes, of course. But for the benefit of people that don't remember that particular section, what does it say?
In the section of guiding principles, subsection D, disaster risk reduction, requires an all-of-society engagement and participation. Aren't we part of society?
Right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Did y'all memorize the Sendai Framework?
No. Excuse me, that would be impossible. We only memorize the interesting parts.
The point is, we want to get nominated for one of these Sasakawa Awards.
But the deadline for nominations passed months ago.
So we can start working on the next global platform. All we need to do is come up with the perfect idea. The perfect disaster risk reduction idea that will positively, without a doubt, get us nominated for a Sasakawa Award.
Yes. Oh, but to do that, we're going to need a disaster risk reduction expert. Now, where are we going to find a disaster risk reduction expert?
Guys, maybe we are not experts on DRR, but they are.
The United Nations.
Okay. So this is what we're going to do. We are going to present some of our ideas to this group of experts, and based on their reactions, we will know which is the best idea that will get us a nomination for the next Sasakawa Award, okay?
Yes.
All right. So who's going to go first here?
I'll go. Okay. So, one of the Sendai Framework's biggest goals is...
Global targets.
Yes, one of the global targets is to increase the number of countries with DRR plans.
Oh, that's the infamous Target E.
So, we can set up an international DRR hotline, a 24-hour service that connects a caller to a DRR specialist right here at the UN.
Disaster risk reduction hotline, what's your disaster risk?
Oh, I have built my entire city on the side of a cliff known for mudslides.
Okay, what you want to do is just move your city a smidge away from the cliffs.
Oh, just a smidge?
Just a smidge.
Anything else?
Well, keep your eye on the weather.
Where'd you get a bell?
They have them for free at the hotel concierge desk.
Okay.
They're not free.
Next idea. Disaster warning systems are a big deal, right?
Yeah. So Target G.
Yes, but not every country can afford to get all of those computer-enhanced sensor satellite infrared cosmic doohickeys, right? Okay. Now follow me here, okay? Do y'all know how birds seem to know before a disaster is about to strike?
Yeah.
Okay. So we train all of the world's birds to act as a synchronized early warning system for all natural disasters. Think about it. There's 7.7 billion of us. There's 400 billion birds. That's like 50 birds to what?
How do we train all that?
Well, picture this.
Okay.
Human beings find themselves on the precipice of calamity. Climate change threatens to displace the most vulnerable people who contribute the least to the problem. Great world leaders reawaken old conflicts and destabilize global security.
Oh, Anita, this is dark.
Yes, but we can solve everything. This clever two-part system can solve almost every single problem known to mankind. Step 1. Find a dark, quiet hiding place. Step 2, go there and don't come out until it's all over.
Which global target does that address?
Beats me.
No. Let's get serious. Let's talk security.
Okay.
Now, we all know that climate change is bringing some really extreme weather patterns that blow from one country to another. And when climate change sends its weather patterns, it's not sending its best. It is sending hurricanes. It is sending floods. It's droughts. It's some of it, I guess, I suppose, is good weather. But we are going to build a wall to keep out all of the disastrous weather. Because you know what, folks? Right now, climate change is laughing at us. It is laughing.
Who's going to pay for all this?
Who's going to pay for it? Climate change.
I don't think they like that one.
That's definitely not one of the global targets.
Yes.
Oh, no, I know. Let's do a movie.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
How's making a movie going to get us a Sasakawa Award?
Oh, it's priority number 1, section 24, subsection Roman numeral 1, to incorporate disaster risk knowledge, ... in common education, normal education, all kinds of education, even civic education, at all levels.
Yeah, but I don't understand.
At all levels.
Okay, so
Let's go.
Let's make a movie.
All right.
In a world where disaster always means destruction,
Madam Prime Minister, it's yet another disaster.
Call out the disaster response team again.
one man was determined to reduce the risk.
Why are we always responding? Why don't we prepare?
Facing the opposition of business as usual,
You'll never prepare for every disaster.
our hero must learn that he is never alone.
We're with you, Reduction Man.
Preparation is a waste of money.
That's why we have to build back better.
Coming soon to a vulnerable population near you, Reduction Man.
That's a wrap.
All right. That was a good idea.
Very well done, Ruth. It's too bad artistic expression is often overlooked when we talk about what is valuable to society. In a world that increasingly values profits over people, contributions like art, community service, and raising a family don't get counted.
Yes, you have a daughter, don't you, Pamela?
I do, and I spend thousands of hours each year doing my best to teach her how to be a good citizen. Unfortunately, this fundamental job, the job of cultivating humanity, is not included in the GDP. And if mothers are invisible to the economy, then they will be invisible when we talk about economic losses. And we will continue to be left out of disaster risk assessments and preparedness.
Wow. What a beautiful way to put a human face on Global Target C.
Global Target C?
Reduce direct disaster economic loss in relation to global GDP by 2030.
Oh, Nick, I'm so proud of you.
Then, which global target focuses on climate change?
Oh, that would be Global Target A.
Right, so...
Oh, and also Target C.
yeah, okay.
Target B, for that matter. Target D, certainly. You know what? All of them. All of the targets relate to climate change.
That's what I thought. Which is why the best policy we could possibly present on disaster risk is to solve climate change.
Yeah.
She's right.
Yeah.
So who's going to present the climate change solution?
Jared, didn't you have an idea to solve climate change?
No. I shouldn't always have to be the one to start. How about you start climate change, and then I'll follow you.
All right, I mean, I can take the lead on it, but it's not going to do any good. If Zen and Pamela don't help me, it's pointless.
I'm not doing
I'm
it
not
with
doing
him.
it with her.
Oh, come on. Someone's got to tackle climate change, and you're the ones who know the most about it, and we're all suffering here, just waiting till you end up stop squabbling.
Yeah, exactly.
I
You know,
don't know what they-
Everyone stop. We can all do climate change together.
Well, that's naive.
Yeah,
here we go.
I'm not taking it.
New idea. I have a question for you. Have you all heard about the flat earth theory?
No! Okay, here's my idea. We get the United Nations to pass a joint resolution against discrimination.
Oh, wait. Isn't there already a resolution on discrimination? I mean, it's 1963, 1981. It's in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
Well, yes, you're right, but that's about human discrimination. I'm talking about discriminating disasters, right? Because we know disasters discriminate. They disproportionately affect the poor, the youth, women, indigenous peoples, and people with disabilities.
Ooh, a resolution is on the floor so that disasters will no longer be allowed to discriminate. All in favor? Aye. All right. Yeah.
They like that one.
Yeah, I think they like that one. Okay, listen, we have time for one more. Okay?
Just one.
So let's really put our heads together so that we can see if we can come up with the best idea that's going to get us a Sasakawa Award.
All right.
Okay?
Okay, let's take inventory. The UNDRR published the Sendai Framework.
And all participating nations have a copy of this document, as well as all the supplementary paperwork, studies, and notes.
In offices all over the world, phones are ringing, emails are being typed.
And piles of paper are being stacked up to the ceiling.
That's a lot of paper.
Yeah, that's a lot of paper.
But not much action.
So here it is.
Our
big
idea.
We invent
A machine.
A machine that takes paper
And
Turns that
turns it
stuff
into action.
action and progress. You put the paper in. It computes.
It processes.
it integrates
And it spits out action.
people.
People everywhere. All moving.
And talking.
Making the deals.
Interconnected.
cooperatively.
Interdependent.
Solutions.
In action.
Policies.
In motion.
Inclusive.
And
Active.
Ladies and gentlemen, everything you heard this evening, every single word of it was written down for us in our script, right here. You saw us take these words and turn them into action. This is your script.
The comprehensive.
The powerful.
the inclusive.
And graceful.
Sendai Framework.
We implore you, be like the nominees of this year's Sasakawa Award, the people and groups who we celebrate here tonight. Be the machine that puts your script into action.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Millie approved. Ladies and gentlemen, theatre breaking through barriers. Thank you very much indeed. I'd like to say that you're heading straight for an award, a Sasakawa Award for 2020. I think there's a bit of work to be done on some of those ideas, but a little short on detail. Thank you so much, though, and by name, Nick, Anita, Emery, Gerard, Pamela, and Zen. Thank you all. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to move on to the next stage of the award ceremony, and that is to build to the awards themselves and a reflection not just of the winners, but of the many nominees as well. And to help us do that, I'm delighted to invite up onto the stage the Special Representative of the Secretary General for Disaster Risk Reduction, Mami Mizutori. Mami. Great.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me? Yes? Good evening, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to welcome you to the United Nations Sasakawa Award for Disaster Risk Reduction. This award is given every 2 years to individuals and/or organizations that have made substantive impact on reducing disaster risk. Working in any field of humanitarian or development endeavor requires courage, dedication, and commitment. This is perhaps even more true of those working in disaster risk reduction. Although I am very pleased to work within a UN organization that has a very positive mandate within the UN mandate, that is trying to prevent something bad from happening rather than picking up the pieces after it has happened, it is also true to say that it is not always easy working in the realm of the hypothetical. Add to that the complexity that goes along with risk, and you will recognize that the organizations and individuals we are recognizing here tonight have a special calling, as many of you joining us here tonight do too, and they have lived up to it with great honor. The Sasakawa Award theme this year is, as was announced, Building Inclusive and Resilient Societies. This is a theme that is not only in sync with the global platform guiding theme, but also a theme that is very close to my own heart. We cannot deny that disasters, where natural disasters negatively meet people, are coming faster, lasting longer, and hitting harder. The people hit hardest, ironically, are those who have done the least to cause these significant changes, the poorest. Nothing lays bare inequality and discrimination like a disaster. It is this inequality and exclusion which drives vulnerability. Disasters, and particularly those delivered through extreme weather events, magnify social inequalities and further disadvantage those who are already vulnerable. While developed countries suffer in terms of absolute economic losses, it is largely the vulnerable and poor who pay the human cost in terms of loss of life, injury, and displacement. More people are displaced every year by disasters than by conflict. It follows that if we are to reduce the impact of disasters, we must also urgently address inequality. The achievement of the 2030 Agenda depends on ensuring that those who are at risk of being affected by natural and man-made hazards, and in particular vulnerable and marginalized groups, are not left behind. A key theme of the Sendai Framework, and therefore a key tenet of our work as UNDRR, is inclusivity. The Sendai Framework emphasizes the importance of a vulnerability-focused, inclusive methodology around disaster risk reduction being integrated into planning, policy, and funding. Unless we invest in prevention and building resilience, we will not be able to break the cycle of disaster response recovery. The Sasakawa Award is an outstanding initiative in rewarding our colleagues and organizations who are working hard to break that vicious cycle. It was very heartening that this year we received some 61 nominations, and I am very pleased and encouraged to see how much is happening at the community and national level to better integrate women, youth, aged, and people living with disabilities into risk reduction. I want to thank the Nippon Foundation for their kind and continued support, without whom this prize will not exist. I also want to give a special thanks to our 3 jury members for their hard work and many hours of time during the selection process. Naja Romdan, full professor at the National School of Engineers of Tunis, Tunisia. Marcy Ross, CEO of the Partnership for Inclusive Disaster Strategies and President of Inclusive Emergency Management Strategies, and Hans Peters Ross, Director of International Programs, the UPS Foundation, who acted on behalf of his president, Mr. Martinez. I also want to thank all our partners who sent their nominations. I will stop here, as you are certainly more interested and eager to know about the finalists. But just a last word, if I may. Ladies and gentlemen, our time is up on this planet. Our very survival is at stake. Urgent, massive change in our policies, in our planning, in our funding strategies, in the very way we live is needed. If we put the most vulnerable at the heart of that change, the displaced, the migrants, the children in the street, the women caring single-handedly for their families, the homeless, then we will put the survival of humanity on track. We must find this compelling, as the people and organization we are about to award clearly do. Thank you.
Mami, thank you very much indeed. As you referenced there, the Nippon Foundation has been supporting very generously the Sasakawa Awards for more than 30 years now. So it's with great pleasure that I would like to ask Yasunobu Ishii of the Nippon Foundation to share the stage. Yasunobu.
Good evening. I'm Yasunobu Ishii, Senior Program Director of the Nippon Foundation, Tokyo, Japan. I'm very honored to be here today representing the Nippon Foundation, and I'm going to read the message from our chairman, Mr. Yohei Sasakawa. Excellencies and ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to express my deepest gratitude to Ms. Mami Mizudori, the Special Representative of the UN Secretary General for Disaster Risk Reduction, and the expert jury panel who have selected the recipients who will be announced later this evening. The UN Sasakawa Award for Disaster Risk Reduction was established in 1986, at which time awareness towards risk reduction was still very limited. Under the leadership of the UN, however, we have come a long way in raising awareness and making our world a safer place and protecting at-risk communities through application of new technologies and innovative approaches. The Sasakawa Award has also evolved with this global trend, and the selection criteria focus on more and more innovative and diverse programs. This award recognizes individuals, organizations, and initiatives that have best contributed to ensuring inclusive, accessible, and non-discriminatory participation in disaster risk reduction activities. This year's theme is Building Inclusive and Resilient Societies. Unprecedented disasters every year threaten the lives of everyone, while people needing special attention, such as elderly people and people with disabilities, are left behind disproportionately during and after disaster. For example, people who are deaf or hard of hearing were not able to hear the emergency sirens or warnings to evacuate. It has been reported that the fatality rate of persons with disability is much higher than the whole population. From these previous experiences, we realized that for building inclusive and resilient societies, it is not enough that community just accepts at-risk people. We need to act upon the concept of no one left behind to mitigate the negative consequences of natural disasters. We must always think of the importance that at-risk people in disaster must be at the center of disaster risk reduction activities. It is important to capitalize on their perspective, knowledge, and experiences to reduce the risks of disaster. At the same time, involvement of all stakeholders, including government, businesses, NGOs, academia, the media, and organizations of people with disabilities is indispensable in order to strengthen policies and activities for disaster risk reduction. In this way, communities will improve local systems of disaster prevention, preparedness, and response to be more inclusive and resilient. This year, there were 61 entries from diverse groups of individuals and organizations. I would like to congratulate the recipients of the 2019 Sasakawa Award and wish that this award will induce further development in their future work. In closing, I would like to convey my appreciation to all the staff members of the United Nations Disaster Risk Reduction for your cooperation in preparing for this ceremony. I would also like to express my respects to all the organizations and the individuals who have continued to work for reducing the risks from disaster in building an inclusive and resilient society. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed for that. Yes, 61 nominations. We're down to 3. Before we find out who these 3 are, I'd like to ask Marcy Roth, on behalf of the judges, the jury, to explain a little bit about the process of coming down to these 3 little envelopes. Marcy.
Good evening. On behalf of the Sasakawa jury panel, I am honored to join in celebrating the 2019 Sasakawa Award for Disaster Reduction nominees, and especially our laureates. The United Nations Sasakawa Award for Disaster Reduction recognizes excellence in reducing disaster risk for a more inclusive and sustainable world, leaving no one behind. It is awarded to an individual or institution that has taken active efforts in reducing disaster risk in their communities and advocates for disaster risk reduction. The Sasakawa Award recognizes individuals and organizations and initiatives that have best contributed to ensuring inclusive, accessible, and non-discriminatory participation in disaster risk reduction activities for all sections of society, especially persons who are poor. I am joined by my fellow jurors, Hans-Peter Teufers and Najla Ramzan, who were fantastic partners, working closely with the wonderful support of the UNDRR team to thoroughly consider each of the 61 nominations from 31 countries. The selection process was not easy. We found ourselves weighing the better and the best, not simply separating the good from the bad. On behalf of the 2019 Sasakawa jury, congratulations. We are looking to you as together we move forward to achieve our shared commitment to inclusive disaster risk reduction and a resilient world for everyone, today, tomorrow, and for generations to follow. Thank you.
Marcy, thank you very much indeed for that. And now I'm going to ask Mami to join me back up on stage as we head towards the awards themselves. And as Mami arrives, we wanted to show you a video which gives you a bit of the backstory to these nominations. So here we go then. Mami, over to you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the first award goes to Department of Civil Defense of Campinas, Brazil.
Can we play the video, please? The suspense is killing us. Can we play the video, please? You know, disaster risk prevention is a difficult challenge sometimes, isn't it?
It is, indeed.
Can we invite the winners up onto the stage to say a few words, please?
Yes.
Thank you very much indeed. Congratulations.
Campinas, cidade brasileira do estado de São Paulo. Mais de 1 milhão de habitantes. Considerada a 5ª melhor cidade do Brasil para se viver. Uma cidade que leva a sério o trabalho para a redução de riscos de desastres. Campinas, assim como muitas cidades, já teve grandes problemas com desastres climáticos, principalmente com enchentes. Mas hoje, a cidade pode ser vista como modelo em investimentos, em mapeamento de áreas de riscos e implantação de um sistema permanente de alerta prévio, possuindo 33 sensores monitorados 24 horas, sendo eles radares e estações meteorológicas, além de outros sensores eletrônicos e mecânicos.
A cidade está preparada para ocorrências que atingem grandes cidades, inundações, queimadas, problemas também relativos à questão de temperatura, de fenômenos naturais. As cidades brasileiras cresceram de forma sem planejamento e isso muitas vezes acarreta problemas que a Defesa Civil tem que estar preparada. E para nós, para mim como prefeito, é bom saber que Campinas conta com bons profissionais, com ideias novas de inovação.
Campinas dispõe de um comitê de cidade resiliente e é considerada pela Estratégia Internacional das Nações Unidas para a redução de desastres como uma cidade modelo. Além disso, dispõe de um plano local de resiliência em harmonia com os padrões do Marco de Sendai, da Agenda para o Desenvolvimento Sustentável, do Acordo de Paris, COP21, da Habitat 3 e da Agenda para a Humanidade. Campinas desenvolve políticas públicas que visam não deixar ninguém para trás. O cadastramento de cidadãos vem sendo realizado e assim a Prefeitura sabe, por exemplo, quantos cadeirantes, crianças, pessoas enfermas ou idosas há em uma área de risco. Campinas implantou também um sistema de radar fotográfico com o objetivo de evitar que incêndios de grandes proporções ocorram no município durante o período da estiagem, que vai de maio até setembro.
Thank you so much. The recognition of the work done in Campinas is an honor for us. Thanks so much for that. We truly believe in inclusive societies and leave no one behind. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Many congratulations there to the Department of Civil Defense of Campinas in Brazil. So we move on to our second of 3 awards. Mami?
So, the second award goes to Mahila Housing Sewa Trust, SCWA Trust, India.
The Mahila Housing Trust is working towards building resilience of urban poor women in South Asia. The project has created a unique women-led partnership between communities technical experts, communication experts, and researchers to enable more than 25,000 slum families in 7 cities of South Asia to build their resilience to climate change. The core approach of the project is to build social capital and create awareness among the communities whose resilience is at stake.
When we started working, we realized that women didn't understand climate change at all. So to us, the biggest communication challenge was that how do you explain the concept of climate change.
We have trained around 1,400 women now on climate change in all our cities.
Technical trainings were especially useful, wherein the women leaders got to interact directly with subject matter specialists on various issues of heat stress, water management, health, etc. All these created an impact with women going back and self-initiating action on planting of trees and shrubs, discontinuing use of plastic, cleaning of drains, boiling water, etc. Other technology solutions have been promoted like green roof, water purifier, sprinkler taps, water meters, community water plant, cool auto, thermocol ceiling, etc. There are many such physical impacts, but the most critical is the empowerment of women, especially their confidence building and the knowledge and motivation to initiate action themselves. The process is ongoing and there is still a long way to go. But the beginning has been made, and we hope to bring about a transformative change in the lives of these women as well as the millions of others like them.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm greatly humbled and honored to be collecting this award on behalf of the 95 million women in India and across South Asia and my colleagues at the Mahila Housing Trust. These women are now leading a revolution. 5,000 of these women were at the forefront when the Fena cyclone hit Orissa in India. We talk of collaborations between the government, private sector, scientists. These women are actualizing it on the ground. They are promoting a culture of resilience. I must thank the Global Resilience Partnership, without whose support this would not have been possible. It has been a game changer for us, and they continue to build this movement in resilience relentlessly. And I also thank the United Nations and the Nippon Foundation. This award and this encouragement will fuel the momentum of change for these women. Thank you once again.
And many congratulations once again, the Mahila Housing Sewa Trust from India. Now, as you know, the Sasakawa Award goes to organizations, it also goes to individuals. Now, may I have the third envelope for you?
So the third award goes to an individual, Dr. Pramod Kumar Mishra, India.
Dr. Pramod Kumar Mishra is a civil servant, a scholar, and a disaster professional who has exercised unmatched influence on the policy and practice of disaster risk management in India. In the 1990s, working in drought-prone areas, Mishra became acutely aware of the effect of erratic rainfall on the lives and livelihoods of millions of poor farmers. He led path-breaking research and experimented with a range of crop insurance solutions. His work put the conventional wisdom on its head and led to one of the first rainfall index-based crop insurance initiatives. India's current crop insurance program, one of the largest in the world, has the imprint of Mishra's early work as well as his continued involvement at the policy level. As the leader of the reconstruction program after the 2001 earthquake, social inclusion was a central theme of Mishra's work. He pioneered a series of innovations such as co-ownership of reconstructed houses for the man and woman of a household, owner-driven reconstruction, the foster parent scheme for orphans, pension for disabled and elderly, on-the-doorstep service delivery for the most vulnerable, and vocational training for widows. These initiatives set new benchmarks and completely changed the disaster recovery practice in India. In recent years, at the Prime Minister's office, while leading the initiative to establish a global coalition on disaster-resilient infrastructure, he has been championing the cause of the most vulnerable and the poor. He has inspired and mentored an entire generation of disaster management professionals in India.
I thank UNDRR, the Nippon Foundation, and the award jury for this recognition. It is a great honor for me. Special words of gratitude for Professor Anand Swarup Arya for nominating me. Long before disaster risk management became a widely established field of practice, almost like a barefoot engineer, Professor Arya bridged the gap between earthquake technology and some of the poorest people in the earthquake-prone regions of the world. This year's theme is inclusive approaches to focus on most vulnerable and marginalized. In that sense, this award is a tribute to Professor Arya as well. My work has only built on the foundations laid by people like Professor Arya. I thank all the colleagues, Professor Michael Lipton, Kamal Kishore, various institutions like DSDMA, GIDM, and NDMA, NIDM, colleagues in the academia, private sector, UNDP, and of course the Government of India for their support, encouragement, and collaboration. Over the years, I have had exposure to people living in harsh geographical and socially inequitable environment and prone to several risks. Imbued with a sense of empathy and concern, I focused on such issues, sometimes as a part of my official duty, but more often in my personal capacity, in my analytical and professional pursuits. I had the opportunity to lead the largest post-earthquake recovery efforts in the country, was also associated with building of DRR institutions at provincial and national level. Ultimately, the work we all do is about people at risk. It is their resolve, their courage, their coping capacity, and their initiative that gives us energy and inspiration. I would like to use this occasion to encourage ourselves to keep the focus on people at risk. As the geography of disaster risk is changing in the world, ever newer categories of people are getting exposed to disasters. People who have come to experience a certain level of well-being and prosperity over the last 2 or 3 decades are also getting exposed to disasters. Development gains are at risk. In such a situation, the definition of who is vulnerable is also changing. We have known risk management, but we know little about dealing with uncertainties. we have to collectively think about what will be the next generation of disaster risk management efforts, particularly in the context of climate change, to deal with these new realities. And finally, I also want to say something about the sense of responsibility we feel in India. With 1/6 of humanity living in our country, we recognize how crucial it is to achieve the Sendai targets in India for the success of global efforts. And in this journey, we have a lot to learn from the world. We will also have something to share with the world based on our experience. It is important that the Global South shows more leadership in global disaster reduction efforts. The initiative that we are leading to establish a global coalition on disaster resilient infrastructure will hopefully create one such opportunity. Thanks once again to UNDRR, the jury, and the Nippon Foundation. Thank you.